Your uni, your team. From kick-off to the final whistle. This is the Shock Radio Sports Show.
Hello and welcome to the Shock Sports Show with me, Sophie Milligan.
Me, Luke Jones.
And me, Cameron Churchill.
We've got a lot of stuff coming up for you. We've got the AFCON, we've got cricket, we've got rugby, we've got... What else is there?
Formula 1.
Formula 1, the most important one. But yeah, so we've got that coming up. And first up, we're going to talk about... I feel like it's the topic on everyone's lips at the minute, the AFCON. So Senegal have been stripped of their title because they walked off the pitch in protest when... Was it Morocco?
It was
were
Morocco.
Given a penalty. So now Morocco are obviously champions, which it feels a bit late because it was like, what, 2 months ago?
It was like mid-January.
January.
So Morocco have been handed a 3-0 win because, like, automatic disqualification.
Yeah.
You get a 3-0 win. But, yeah, Senegal walked off the pitch very late on in the game when Morocco were given a penalty. Brahim Diaz stepped up to take that penalty and missed, so Senegal went on to win 1-0. And it just seems very unfair on Senegal. Like, it's taken so long, for AFCON, like, the governing body of AFCON to come to that decision. It's so unfair.
I don't think... I'm just a believer anyway. You can't retrospectively change sporting decisions. I feel like regardless of how they become... Let's remember as well, in that AFCON final, obviously, you had that controversial penalty, which is why they walked off. Senegal, just before that, had also had a goal disallowed for a controversial reasoning and also had many decisions which they felt had went against them during the game. But I think regardless of what happens, yes, you can't walk off the pitch, but I think you can't change a sporting decision after the game has happened, especially 2 months after. You've kind of just got to let results be. Because Morocco might have the title, but everyone's going to look back. Senegal won the game. Everybody knows that. Senegal know that Morocco did won that. If you're Morocco, you can't really take that as a win, can you?
No, it's like morally Senegal. But like, it's just... And it's like deep down, surely... Sorry, that scared me. I didn't realise we had to talk back. Deep down, they know that they didn't, like you say, they didn't win. And it does just feel a bit like they're changing history. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't go back and say, like, I'm trying to think of an example that's not controversial. You can't go back and say, oh, it's like the F1 thing with, like, Max and Lewis. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, really, Lewis won? Well, no, Max won. But
I was literally thinking of that myself, where as much as I personally believe that Lewis was in some degree robbed, you can't... After that happened, you can't take that title off of Max. That's just
it's
not
Max's
how it works.
title.
Yeah.
It is Max's, whether you like the decision or not, and whether the decision was right or not.
Or if
it is his title.
If we're keeping it to football, then there's so many VAR decisions that have been incorrect. Like, go back to Luis Diaz against Tottenham, where Tottenham went on to win 2-1, but Diaz's goal should have stood. So they can't just go back, oh yeah, that game ended 2-2. They can't do that. We lost that game.
Yeah.
And Morocco lost this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, do you want to get onto some more, the broader range of football? I feel like, Luke, you're my expert right now.
So a lot has happened this week with Manchester City. They lost ground in the title race. Arsenal are currently leading at the top of the league by 9 points. Oh. So they clearly hold the advantage at the minute. But City do have a game in hand over them. So if they cut that down, it could be... If they win that game, it could be 6 points.
Yeah.
They drew 1-1 at the weekend to West Ham at the London Stadium. And last night, they got knocked out of the Champions League by Real Madrid. 2-1 on the night, 5-1 on aggregate, thanks to Vinicius Jr. Brace last night. But they do face Arsenal at the weekend in the Carabao Cup final.
Yeah.
If they win that, there's possibly some hope for City in the title race, because they do have to play Arsenal at the Etihad as well.
What do you think, Cameron?
I think that it is very much Arsenal's title to lose now, considering City have lost more ground. Yes, City have a game in hand and do have to play Arsenal.
If they win that game in hand and beat Arsenal, they'll have the momentum.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have a bit of hope if they beat them in the cup final,
Mm-hmm.
and the gap will be 3 points.
You can't write it off. And I think I've said for a long time with City, and I feel like not so much with Liverpool anymore, but Liverpool of the past, I feel like are two teams that very much could have went on runs where you can string, say, 10 wins in a row together, a ridiculous run. Whereas Arsenal haven't necessarily... Yes, they've had great form and they have went on good runs, but City have shown they can just have a complete purple patch and go on a crazy winning streak and turn their fortune round. Whereas Arsenal, almost, it's a mentality test for them now of can they hold on? It is their title to lose, and they are very much the front runners. Can they get it over the line? They got 2 late goals against Everton on the weekend.
Do you think Arsenal are dropping cheap points? Because Wolves scored 2 late goals at them a couple of weeks ago. So do you think Arsenal have that stability going into the final few weeks? We've seen it in the past seasons where they've just dropped off towards the end and gave away cheap points. Do you think that will happen again?
They can do. And they came very close. I think if Arsenal hadn't got them 2 late goals on the weekend, I think yes, City still would have dropped points, but you'd be having a different conversation right now, in the sense of City, yes, have dropped points too, but then you think that margin of they have a game in hand and also have to play each other, that's a potential 6-point swing, which would have left a point? Meaning it's very much the pressure's on then. Whereas managing to get them fine margins over the line and get that victory, it does shift things, where that does seem like this weekend just gone may have been a turning point in the title race for where Arsenal may have.
Even though it's not the Premier League this weekend for both teams, it still could be very key for the title. It'll bring hope to City, disbelief to Arsenal if City win the cup final, and if Arsenal win that cup final, then they will very much believe that it's their title now.
Yeah. Well, should we get on to Liverpool? Because
do we have to?
Yeah, we do.
No.
Exactly. But obviously they were booed. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Hang on. We were booed off.
Rightfully
of the
so.
Weekend. Yeah.
It was just a poor display. We started well. We were creating chances, but again, late goals against us. It's just been one of those seasons.
Well, so I support Liverpool and my granddad supports Tottenham. So
oh dear.
Yeah, this is not a great weekend for me. But yeah, Arne Slot isn't the most popular person right now. What are your, as a Liverpool fan, what are your opinions on Slot?
I've said this probably since early December. Slot has to go, and it's quite evident with that now. If we get knocked out tonight by Galatasaray, we have to overcome a 1-0 deficit, at Anfield. It's doable. We've done that loads of times. We can do it again. But if we don't, Slot will have to go, and we have to pour everything we've got into the FA Cup to have any chance of getting a trophy at the end of the season. We lose tonight, Slot has to. He has to go.
I think when you look at where Liverpool were last year compared to now, and it's obviously the same manager, you just can't.
It's a different team.
It's what is happening?
You saw with the signings at the start of the season, everyone kind of had this impression, Liverpool are going to walk the league this season, where they brought in Wirtz, Isak, Isak's got injured, Ekitike,
Frimpong,
Kirkez. a lot of very good signings on paper, but I think it's the perfect example of having a team of good players doesn't make a good team, if that makes sense. I feel like Liverpool, obviously there might be a range of factors as to why they're in the position they are now, but I think a big thing is that Arne Slot just doesn't seem to have that sort of fight or intensity in the team right now. They've lost their mojo a bit. And say what you want, like with Jurgen Klopp, he was always very much about intensity, working hard, and they very much seem like they've lost that as a team.
For the past 3-4 years, it's very much been a Mo Salah team. Like everything revolves around him. This year, it's not. The responsibilities kind of been more shed around, like, look at Szoboszlai, for example, look at Wirtz, look at Ekitike. They've lost that dependency on Salah. He's dropped off, and he can't get it back because of that.
Yeah. I think they're not even, like, when you watch them play, it's like you're not watching a team, you're literally watching 11 men run round and just do whatever they want. Like, there's no teamwork.
It's
there's
so
nothing.
so slow in the build-up as well. That's what we lost. Like, the flair of getting forward quickly, breaking, making those right passes at the right time. We've just lost it all. And I think that is massively down to Slot's tactics.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think some of the players do need to step up as well.
Listening to the Shock Radio Sports Show. And me and Luke have actually just found out that Cameron is, in fact, an Everton fan.
I love how the Shock Sports Show this year has just became the Liverpool fans' therapy session. With you, obviously, you two, and then you have, obviously, Noah, Elliott. Although Elliott hasn't been on. Josh Bingham. There's a lot of Liverpool fans here.
Yeah.
From Liverpool. So.
Can we move on from Liverpool?
Yeah. Let's talk about United. So,
they've basically gained ground in the top 4 race. It's very they're in the driving seat to finish in that 3rd place, I think. They beat Aston Villa 3-1 at Old Trafford at the weekend, and with Chelsea losing to Newcastle and Liverpool drawing to Spurs, it's like they look settled for that top 4 finish.
Yeah.
I reckon.
What's going on with the United strand? Has he cut his hair? What's actually the? Can you explain the United strand to me? Because
United
no,
so
I can't.
know what's.
I don't do social media.
It's he has to wait for United to win 5 games in a row before he can cut his hair. The first opportunity since he started the challenge that he had was when they played against West Ham and they drew. So it went back to 0. They're now on. They beat Villa on the weekend. I think they're on.
Are they on 2?
They're either 1 or 2. I can't remember who.
Oh,
They
and
played Newcastle before that, but they got beat.
Elliott Blaine's telling me they're only on 1.
Yeah, they
They're
got
on
beat
1.
by Newcastle just before that.
Oh yeah.
So, in terms of Michael Carrick, do you think that he should get the United job permanently, or
There's no reason why he shouldn't. Like, he's in both his terms, like as interim manager, he's proven to be a good manager. He's got results. He's pulled them from mid-table into securing Champions League for next season. Like, there's no reason why he shouldn't be the next manager of United.
because I feel like I know a lot of people say, oh, the issue is that it does draw parallels to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his tenure as interim manager. But at the same time, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer arguably has been the most successful Manchester United manager post-Ferguson, besides maybe Mourinho for a period. But in terms of, like, getting that kind of DNA back into the club,
Some sort of, like, structure.
identity.
Yeah.
But Michael Carrick, I do think, is a better manager than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I think the main issue is that it is really a crossroads of whether do you stick with Carrick or do you try and go for a more experienced manager potentially after the World Cup. There might be more managers available like Tuchel or Pochettino or a couple of other managers that potentially will become vacant.
But those big names like Poch and Tuchel, like, I don't think he'll leave England anytime soon. But do you think they would actually want that job? Because everyone's seen, like, it's like the Spurs job. It's a death trap. Like,
It's poison chalice.
yeah, like, someone goes into that job already there's weight on your shoulders. You have to go in there and perform straight away. And if you don't, then already you're under fire.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know enough about football. I only know about Liverpool, and that's about the base of... Liverpool and Tottenham are like the base of my football knowledge.
Shall we go on to cricket then?
Yes, please!
Go on.
Okay, so obviously the Cricket World Cup was... the final was a week gone Sunday, but last week was the Cheltenham Sports Show special, so that's why it's not been discussed yet. England got to the semi-final and lost in the semi-final. It was fully set up for...
Did they do that a lot?
Actually, so we've won quite a few. We won the last... I'm sure we won the last ODI and the last T20 World Cup. I think. We definitely won the last T20 World Cup because I can remember, like, them winning it. But so you guys know nothing about cricket, so I feel like these scores to you might not make sense. You're gonna be like, what? So England were 246 for 7, and India beat them with 253 for 7. So India won by 7 runs.
Right.
So the score is the big number is their runs, and then for 7 is how many wickets they lost.
Right.
If that makes sense. It was quite upsetting. Phil Salt, who I always say he's one of my favourite players, but I get lots of hate from the other cricket fans that come on the sports show for that. So that's controversial. He got 5 runs, which was not great. But obviously India won, so they then went on to the final, which was on the Sunday. India won by 96 runs, which is obviously a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I do feel like it's quite upsetting not having anyone to talk about cricket, because at least you guys had each other to talk about the football with, and I just like talking at you about football.
It just sound very English, doesn't it? To just
It's
lose in the
it's
semi-finals.
Yeah, it is. It is very English, but usually England, not the underdogs, but they manage to come from behind quite a lot in cricket. But I mean, I used to play cricket, so it's like that's where the love comes from. But as well, it was the 100 auction. I've got my Manchester Originals top on. I hope the camera can pick this up. Even though this team does not exist anymore because a few teams were bought out by the IPL, which is the Indian Premier League, for the 100. So they bought some teams out. So the Manchester Originals are now called the Manchester Supergiants. And it was the auction last week. So James Coles was purchased by London Spirit for 390k. Jordan Cox joined Welsh Fire for 300k. Adil Rashid has gone to Southern Brave for 250k. And Pakistani all-rounder Abrar Ahmed has gone to Sunrisers Leeds for 190k. And then for the women, Danny Gibson went to Sunrisers Leeds for 190k. England Seema Issy Wong went to Southern Brave for 130k. And then Tilly Cortine Coleman has also gone to Southern Brave for 105k. So that's for cricket, that's a lot. So they
transfer fees.
Yeah, that's how much. So they did it as an auction, but usually it was so they did it as a draft, and then this the first year that it's been an auction.
Right. So they bid for the players.
They bid for the players, yeah. Which I think in a way it's good because the women were not getting any money at all. Like the lowest men's fees in the first year of the 100 was higher than the women's highest fees, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So the highest paid women were getting paid less than the lowest paid men, which now it's improved, but it's still not improved greatly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's... Do you want to move on to something that you know about? Should we go on to the quick news that Bolton have bid to host the Ryder Cup?
I think that is absolutely amazing. And Tommy Fleetwood, who's over from Southport, he has also said it's a really good thing for Bolton and Greater Manchester.
I think it is, because good old Andy Burnham has said that they're going to put some funding into the Link Road to make... Well, it's going to be a new golf course, so the golf course isn't even there yet. which feels a bit preemptuous.
But he wants so many sporting events to come to Greater Manchester. Like, the Ryder Cup's just another one. He wants the Olympics up here. Like, he wants the World Cup up here. Like, so,
imagine
he wants Greater Manchester to be the next big place.
I reckon we
sport.
get the Olympics on Salford Uni campus.
Yeah, forget varsity.
So I was gonna say, forget varsity.
Let's just get the full-on Olympics here.
Yeah, we've got
That'd be
get the swimming in the sports hall pool, get the tennis out on the courts, get the football on the 3G pitch. Like, you know.
Well, of course, if you do want to tune into varsity, that is on April 26th.
It is
Live on Shock Radio.
Live on Shock Radio. I'm very
And
excited for
Shock
varsity.
TV. Right. Yeah.
Right. So, what do you think? So, do you think it's a good idea?
It's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
I think. Like,
I think so. He said he's going to ask Chancellor Rachel Reeves to accelerate the delivery of more frequent and modern trains on the Atherton line, to invest in better rail stations and speed up work to connect the area to the Metrolink network. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. At the current state of our trains,
it could happen.
it could. If we, I don't know, but Salford Crescent's been shut recently again.
Has it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I-
always shut.
That's why I use a car.
I can't drive, unfortunately. But yeah, I think it's a good. Like, I think it's always the South that get everything in terms of sporting.
If you get enough golfers back in this, I think they could make a big push for it. Yeah.
And it is good for the city and the region to get more sporting events in northern places. Greater Manchester, I think, of recent years has began to thrive a bit more, and I do think it is good, both in terms of a sporting thing, but also for the city itself to be able to boost its status. But yeah,
I think the thing is, imagine Tiger Woods just knocking about Middlebrook Park.
it is weird. isn't
Imagine
it?
Tiger Woods at Horwich Parkway. I just can't.
It's weird crossings as well. It's like the other week when Wrexham played Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup, and I couldn't process that Sean Dyche was in the same place as Ryan Reynolds. That just doesn't fit my concept of reality.
No, like, just the fact that Ryan Reynolds knows where Wrexham is. That's, like, so wild to me. Like, what? But should we have some more music? And then after this, we're going to get on to the rugby, CMAT, because it is not a Sophie Milligan appearance without an appearance from CMAT.
Who was CMAT?
She's an Irish country pop singer-ish type thing.
Right.
She's amazing. I saw her last week. She's great. And it was St. Patrick's Day yesterday, so happy
Was it?
Island. Yeah.
Didn't notice.
Well, that segues quite nicely into the next bit, considering in terms of the rugby, Ireland did have a rather disappointing weekend, didn't they?
Oh yeah, it was a little bit. I mean, did they beat Scotland?
Yes, they did.
They beat Scotland, but France very narrowly beat England to clinch the Six Nations title. And was it back to back? Can't remember. Like, did they win last year as well?
It may have been. But it was last minute penalty, was it?
Very last minute penalty, which saw them win 48-46. And of course, my beloved Wales, after 2 years of not winning a game in the Six Nations, we finally beat Italy 31-17 to end that horrible drought. But I feel like it was building to that. We were building to get back to winning ways again. We were showing good performances. Like, we had a good outing against Scotland, had a good outing against France. So I thought, yeah, it was only a matter of time for Wales to win a game.
I'm just looking at all the results here right now. I've got it on my iPad. Yeah, France did win last year. So their last win, so they won in 2022 and then last year and then this year.
Good knowledge from me, that.
Yeah.
I've slept since then, so...
Yeah. But yeah, I've just got, so France beat, well, the first game was France and Ireland and they won. So it's like you've got the good start, and then they did just keep winning pretty much. They lost against Scotland, but
That's what they do, France. Like, I remember, like, a good few years ago, like, I'm talking, like, past 2020, like, Italy and France they had no hope in the Six Nations at all. It was always England, Ireland, Wales went that Grand Slam in 2019, I think it was. But so they kind of have come from out of nowhere to be a very strong rugby union team.
Yeah, I think that. See, I don't really know much about union. I'm more a league person because Wigan Warriors, they have my heart. But I watched a bit of the Six Nations because obviously it's massive. But yeah, I think rugby is such an entertaining sport to watch because it's just men running at each other. I mean, obviously there's more to it than that, but it's just because like football, it's like you're not allowed to like do anything really, but rugby is a gentleman's sport. That's what they say.
Is it?
That's what people say. Rugby's a gentleman's sport.
It's fierce. It's fast. Like you have to be ready to go down.
Aggressive.
Well, should we quickly go on to the league? So we've got the Betfred Super League. Wigan are currently in first place above Leeds, Leeds, Warrington, St Helens all have 6 points. And then Bradford, Wakefield, Toulouse, Catalans and York all have 4 points. And then Castleford, Hull KR, Lee and Huddersfield. Well, they all have 2 and then Huddersfield at the bottom with 0. So I love a good game of rugby. Rugby league is I don't want to say it's so much better than union, but it just can't. I don't know. It's just
I feel like rugby league's a little bit more soft.
Yeah, I think that's maybe why I like it, because I don't get scared that someone's going to get hurt. I'm an empath, you see. Do you like rugby, Cameron, or are you not?
It's okay. I'm not really a huge rugby person. I'm more of a football, Formula 1, dabble in a bit of tennis and stuff as well when it's on. But yeah, I don't mind it.
I'm just trying to get the facts for the Women's Super League because there's a team from where I'm from Barrow, that they're in the Women's Super League. Let's see when it starts. Hang on. Couldn't you talk about something while I quickly... Hang on.
Because in the Six Nations, what I do know is England, they went 1-4, was it? In terms of 1 win, 4 losses? Or 1 win, 5 losses?
Yeah.
Which is pretty disappointing.
In terms of England, that is disappointing because they used to go back-to-back Grand Slams every year. But since Wales won their last title in 2019, like they've just dropped massively and they just can't find a way to get that back. Like since then, it's been Ireland and France, the top 2 teams in the Six Nations.
How do you think Wales get their mojo back then in terms of getting back to the top? Because Wales are a pretty big, and always have been a pretty big rugby nation. So.
Yeah, like I think just still, even if the result isn't there, we don't necessarily have to win the games. As long as we're putting in good performances, I think the results will fall naturally after that. Like this year in the Six Nations, like. We had a very poor start, but in terms of performance. But then the performance came, and we got a win, and it's okay. That's something to build on for next year.
Well, I have found the Women's Super League fixtures, and it doesn't start till the 16th of May. I thought it was April, but it's May. So, Wigan Warriors women, I mean, you've got a few months yet, but Wigan Warriors women are going to defend their title. I know it. Come on, Wigan. But let's have some more music, and then after that, we'll talk about what you've all been waiting for, and that is the Chinese Grand Prix that happened over the weekend, and McLaren's fall from grace, I guess. Is that how you describe it at the minute?
McLaren's very poor start.
Red Bull haven't been great either, But.
No. Well, we'll get on to that after Grand Prix, and McLaren are, in fact, in the mud.
Not just McLaren. There's plenty of others.
Yeah.
Well...
I just hate Zach Brown.
How can you hate Zach Brown?
I don't know. I feel like sometimes on Drive to Survive and in interviews and media stuff, he just doesn't come across the best. But I'm sure he's a lovely guy. I hate his persona. There we go. I hate his public media trained persona.
He is very American.
He is very American. I had about a 1 minute chat with him.
Really?
Yeah. He seemed okay. That's about it.
Did he pass the vibe test?
Yeah. I don't know what that means, but yes.
As in, did he give off good vibes, bad vibes?
Yeah, good vibes. Yeah.
Right, fair enough then. We can approve Zach Brown does have good vibes on the Shock Sports Show.
Should we get him on for an interview?
Yeah, you should have asked him.
Would you come on the Shock Sports Show, please?
What do you mean you had 1 minute with Zach Brown?
Just
and
1
you didn't
minute.
Ask him.
Well, well, it was last year at Silverstone. It was I was walking through the pit lane and it was just there
That's
outside
so
the garage.
cool.
It was just had a 1
It's a
minute
casual
chat.
encounter.
Yeah.
Well, something that made me very happy was Kimi Antonelli has won.
Oh yeah.
His first F1 win, it's
And Lewis back on the podium.
Yeah.
he's had a couple of
wholesome.
sprint podiums. He had one this weekend and one last year. But yeah, his first Grand Prix podium for Lewis and the Ferrari. So
Something that made me very happy was the picture of Bono with them three, because he's been an engineer for all three of them, because obviously he's Kimi's now, he was Lewis's, and then he did some stuff for George in 2020 testing and stuff like that. But I just think, I loved it. But
do you think Kimi can handle the pressure of being that in the top car? It's quite clear Mercedes are the top car for this year.
100%.
Do you think he can handle that and challenge George Russell for that Drivers' Championship?
I don't know, because I feel like with Mercedes, I think they're one of the teams that are quite good at, obviously they have their number one driver, but they don't necessarily pit their drivers against each other. Like other teams, obviously McLaren, we've seen that with McLaren. We saw it with Mercedes with Rosberg and Hamilton 2016. Brosadie. That obviously we saw it then, but I think now they've improved. And I feel like, Kimi's young, but he's got George to look up to. And George is young, but he's had that same experience of being a younger driver coming in and doing well in his first few seasons. So I think if he looks up to George and stuff, and I think he'll be fine.
I think he has already shown that he does have the ability. I think it is just, and I think Mercedes has always been a better team for developing them sort of talents. George Russell went there when he wasn't a complete rookie. Obviously, Antonelli's one of the youngest drivers to go in there, but obviously
second youngest drivers to win a Formula One Grand Prix.
Yes, behind Max.
Max Verstappen was 17.
Youngest pole sitter though, because obviously Max won his in 2016. Was it Barcelona that was when Rosberg and Hamilton crashed that race, and I think that was when he got his first win. I think with Mercedes though, it is very much, I know it's early days, it is George Russell's title to lose at this point. He's finally, I feel like,
even 2 races in,
I'd say so, because if with all due respect to Kimi Antonelli, if Mercedes are truly the fastest car, George Russell has shown that he has the consistency and the ability. It has really just been a matter of time until he gets a good enough car to be able to compete. Since he went, because it was always, when he goes to Mercedes, and he was quite unfortunate that when he did go to Mercedes was straight after they had that fall off in the regulations. And it's the first time that since he's been at Mercedes, that they've been the best car again. And I think he has shown he does have that consistency and driver ability to pull it off.
Talking of new regulations, a team that hasn't settled well to the new regulations, Red Bull.
Ferrari.
Yeah, Red Bull. Yeah.
Ferrari look okay.
Well, Ferrari are complaining about the starting rules and stuff like that, but
Lewis Hamilton didn't have any trouble at the start.
Exactly.
I think, to be fair, that's more in regard to, I think, other teams complaining about Ferrari with their insane launches and the way that they achieve. The Ferrari, everyone was saying pre-season about the Ferrari launch.
Getting off the
Ferrari
line.
launch is one of the most entertaining things. that first race, obviously it happened last race too. That first race when Charles Leclerc managed to come from about 5th to taking the lead out of nowhere in the first lap was, honestly, I'm rooting for them. I do quite like Ferrari, and I think, even though I think George Russell will win the title, I would love it to be Charles or Lewis. I would love it.
I'd rather Charles Leclerc win it. I've never really been a fan of Lewis.
You're definitely a Max Verstappen fan, I can tell.
I am a Max Verstappen
You just
fan.
radiate that energy, I can tell. Oh, you're so a Max Verstappen fan.
Well, my favourite driver, unfortunately, right now is Oscar Piastri.
He has
He's not even done a race.
two
He's not
DNSs.
even-
Like, obviously, last weekend he crashed out on the formation.
I was watching that with Elliott Blaine, and when
Well, we grew up that early.
I'd been at work,
Right.
and then I messaged Elliott and I was like, "Can I come and see you after work?" And he said, "Yeah." So we were sat there watching it, and I was on my phone because obviously it hadn't even started,
No.
and then I just hear, "Oh, what's that?" Look up, and Oscar Piastri is quite literally in the mud, and I was like, okay, bad day to be an Oscar fan. See, my thing is, I'm not a McLaren fan. I'm an Oscar fan. I'm a Ferrari fan.
Yeah, I'm not a Red Bull fan. I'm a Max fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the thing is though, I think F1's a weird sport. You don't you do just have drivers you like. You don't support a team necessarily. I know like Italians are like all Ferrari.
I am a Ferrari fan
I do always quite like Ferrari, but I feel like
it's because of the Schumacher days. Like
I like Lewis and I like Lewis. I like Lando, even though I
like
actually
Seb.
Lando, and I like.
yeah,
I've never felt the same affiliation, I think, to George as I have maybe Lando and Thingy, but yeah. I would love Lewis to be... I think Lewis has shown that he isn't... I think we can put that myth to bed. Lewis Hamilton isn't past it. I think...
Oh, he's definitely got it. And
Yeah.
with the new regulations this year, like, it's making those two teams so much more competitive at the start.
Absolutely.
Because, like, in the first, 8 laps, it was, chop and change in between. Last week it was Russell and Leclerc just going back and forth. This week it was Lewis and
Charles.
yes, because they had their little
Their little spark.
yeah.
Honestly, I think people can complain about the new regulations or the whole energy thing. I think it has made for some of the best racing we have seen in a long time. When you consider where the cars were last year, where they just couldn't overtake each other. I think, yes, you can have your issues with it, but I think in terms of, racing action, it is very polarised, but I'm personally a fan.
So you got the top two teams of Mercedes and Ferrari, but then who do you think is the third and fourth best car? Because
I don't know.
we've seen McLaren haven't been with it. Red Bull, they've had 2 DNFs in 2 races.
technically, it's Haas.
It's hard to tell.
And the fact that Haas are the third best car
Well,
on the grid at the minute, technically, going from points with Behrman, who is currently on 17 points. He's still 16 points behind Hamilton, but
a P7 and P5 for Ollie Behrman, compare that to last year.
Yeah.
And Alpine as well,
Made a comeback, haven't they?
P6 for Gasly this weekend, P10 for Colapinto, and then, yeah.
I think it's hard to call. The thing is, I thought that... I know McLaren didn't get off the line, but McLaren, up until that point that weekend, did actually look fairly fast.
They looked okay,
Yeah.
but it's the same with Red Bull. Red Bull's pace during qualifying, they aren't great. They aren't qualifying towards the top. It's a lot more mid-table. But in the race, their race pace is okay. It's just the qualifying. They can't do anything.
I think, because the thing is, after that first weekend in Australia, I felt Red Bull was one that was hard to judge purely because Max obviously had a crash in qualifying start from the back, and yeah, he made up a lot of places, but you never got to see him running against the front-running cars. Hadjar had a good qualifying, but his engine went quite early. But I thought from that, it looked as though they had a decent bit of pace about them. Not the fastest, but maybe the third car behind Ferrari and Mercedes. But after the last race, I can't say that anymore. I don't think that's the case anymore, really.
Well, it's Racing Bulls. They've got they're meant to be like the junior Red Bull, but they're looking to be like Liam Lawson, and
I love Liam Lawson. I'm gonna say it right now.
Harvey Lindblad as well. Like those two, they're looking very strong.
Yeah.
I finally have an F1 driver on the grid that is younger than me, and it terrifies me.
Lindblad.
Harvey Lindblad, yeah.
I
I'm June 2007. I think he's August.
They're all so young. And
God,
it's
you're making
like,
me feel old.
I know.
Like half the grid's younger than me.
I know.
Yeah. Well, so the next race is not this week, but next week in Japan. And then after that would be Bahrain and Saudi, but obviously they've been cancelled. So there's a month break between
5 weeks.
Yeah.
5 weeks. I'm not particularly happy.
It
I
will-
mean, I get some sleep
Yeah.
because I have been up early at 3 a.m. for the past couple of weeks to watch the race. But yeah,
It would be interesting to see if there are any developments between the teams in that time to make
Well,
up the gap.
Red Bull have said they are bringing some upgrades for Japan. So hopefully by the time Miami comes about.
Should we get, just really quickly, a quick prediction of who we think is going to be this year's champion? I know it's a very tough one because obviously it's too early to call, but who are we going for?
I've said since the end of last year it's going to be George Russell. And constructors, it's probably going to be Mercedes, but I'd want Ferrari.
I think it's going to be Russell. He just looks too strong at the minute. And constructors, I think Mercedes.
Right, so at first I was like, it's going to be Oscar's year, but now I don't think it will be. So I'm going to go for Kimi. I'm going to go for it. You know, he's only 4 points behind George, so I think he could do it. And then I do think that it'll be Mercedes as the constructors champion. But unfortunately, that is all that we've got time for this week. I've been Sophie.
I've been Cameron.
I've been Luke.